Great. Well, let's look at this paper here. Prelim, paper 1, Mathematical Literacy, 2025. Question number 1, it says Ored wants to open a bank account and decides to research various banks. Table 1 below shows the banking fees for different services offered to young people by four South Africa's largest banks. So the banks that we have here is Bank A, Bank B, Bank C, Bank D. Write down the cheapest bank based on the monthly fees. Means you check on the monthly fees. Monthly fees, which one's the cheapest? It's Bank D. So you write it there. So you have it as Bank D. Which withdrawal method is the most expensive one for the client withdrawing 1,200 from Bank A? Let's go. Bank A is this one here. Which one will be expensive? This one, you start paying this money after 30,000. Remember, we're looking at withdrawals. So we're looking at that. Then we have this one here. We have that. And this is 10 Rand. This is for every 100. And when you calculate, this could be the expensive one. So we shall say the ATM withdrawal. ATM withdrawal. Determine how much the banking fees will be if Ored chooses Bank C and withdraws 1,600 from the bank ATM. Bank C is this one, withdraw from MTM. This is the method you're going to use. It says 1,250. It's free. Then whatever remains, you have to divide it by 100 and multiply by 1,85. So meaning we need to know it's going to withdraw 1,600 minus 1,200, leaving me with this one will become 400 because they said part thereof. So it becomes 400 and we divide this by 100. Why? We are looking for this statement here, per 100. So if it's 400, then it becomes times 1,8. And your answer became answer here is 7 Rand 40 cents. 1.1.4, choose the correct percentage below. The probability of choosing a bank with the counter withdrawal costs of less than 2 Rand. Less than 2 Rand. Look at this. We have one. This is 1, 2 out of 4. So meaning we have 2 out of 4. What do we do? Multiply by 100. The answer is supposed to be 50%, which is B. When we go down to question number 1.2, it talks about the table. They are saying calculate the number of Indian females. Look at that. This number here is missing. What are we going to do? We shall get the total number of amount there, which is 30,980,110 minus all these other values. We shall subtract the 25,085,330 minus 2,737,900, then minus 2,960. 679, and the answer became 76,114. This is the answer. These are the Asian people / India. Write down the total number of colored male in what become colored male. These are the ones. That's what we are looking at. Then it becomes 2 million 600 2,600,000 and 1,000 1,900 30 what? 32. Don't forget right words, please. That's how we get marks there. Determine the percentage of female population represented by Black African female population. So meaning we shall come here. So we are taking this number here out of the total number. That means we shall say 25 million and 85,330 divided by the total, which is 30,980,110 times 100. So here the answer became 80.79%. Then we are saying 1.2.4 population, okay? At the population estimates data, numerical or categoric. This data that we are looking at, is it numerical or categoric? We shall say it's numerical because we're dealing with values. Numerical. Okay. A clothing store is having an annual sale on all items in the shop. In addition, a customer receives further 50% discount on the cheapest item bought. Mr. Butzer, Mrs. Butzer chooses a V-neck bag for 249 rands 95 cents and a pair of sandals on sale for 135 rands 95 cents. So remember, she will pay the 290 plus. But this one here, because it's the cheapest, it said they get 50% more. So in other words, put that in the calculator, and your answer will become 317 rands 93 cents. Okay. 1.4, this is the graph you're looking at. It talks of monthly active social media users. Which social media platform is used most on the monthly basis? You take the one with the highest value, and it's C, Facebook. Then name the type of the graph used above. This is what we call a vertical bar graph. 1.4.3, calculate the difference between the third most popular and the least popular. So the third most, this one is the most, second most, and third most. Then with the least, which is 200, the smallest. So we shall say 1,309 minus, why are we subtracting? It's because of this one, minus 200. And the answer became 1,109. That's the difference. Name the social media platform that has four times more active monthly users than the least popular. So which one goes into this 4 times? Times 4. That means the answer is supposed to be what? 800. 4 times. So which one goes in? It's this one here. And it's what? Instagram. So we are saying is what? Instagram. This marks the end of question number 1. Let's continue and we look at question number 2. Load shedding is a reality in South Africa. At present, Mr. R decided to buy a generator for his family to use during load shedding. Given below is an advertisement for a generator that he intends to buy. Okay, there we go. This is the generator. The now price, the was price, the saving part of it. We come in and say there are two options to you, either pay cash or hire purchase. Can you get the percentage discount offered on the generator? The generator is called that much and it has a power of 7.5 kVA. Okay, we are looking at that and we see percentage discount. That means you're going to get the discount divided by the original amount times 100. So when we come at this, we see the discount is 500. So meaning we're going to get the 500 divided by the original amount, then you multiply by 100. This gave us 3.57%. So the discount is 3.57%. All right. We are looking for the percentage discount. Don't forget that percentage sign. Okay, Mr. R stated that he has budgeted 1,000 per month to buy the generator using payment option 2, which is hire purchase. Verify showing all calculations whether 1,000 per month will be enough for the monthly installment. Guess what happens? First and foremost, hire purchase. It has a discount. So what you're going to do is first look for the balance. And how are we going to get the balance? Balance is going to equal to the cash money minus the deposit. Cash money minus the deposit. In other words, you're going to reduce the cash money by 18%. So what are we going to do? First and foremost, we shall say, what is our balance? It will equal to 18% times the cash money. But remember, we are using that one after the discount. This one here, the now price. This is what we are using. So we look for the discount there. So the discount is this much. Remember, this is the discount. So what is the balance now? The balance is going to be, we said this was a deposit. So the balance is going to be the cash money, which is 13,499, minus the deposit. Of 2,429 rand 82. So what is the balance? And the balance is 11,069.18 cents. This is the balance. Now, this is the balance that's going to happen, or the balance that's going to have the interest. So what are we going to do? We shall take the balance and we look for the interest. And they have told us the interest is going to be 16 multiplied by this 16 over 100. And 16 so only the interest here is going to be this is the interest. So how much will it be all in all? So we shall get the interest. We add only the balance money that we've used to produce it. So this is, I'm looking for how much will it be at the end of the year. So this will become at the end of the year we have, let me write it here. Now we've got this at the end of the year, 12,867 rands 92 cents. Now it's this one that you're going to divide by. You divide it by 12 to find out whether it will be enough. So you need 1,072 rands and 33 cents. So the claim is incorrect. The claim is incorrect. 1,000 won't be enough. All right, 1,000 won't be enough. So let's conclude and we say not enough. Take note, if it's a higher purchase, look for the deposit, subtract the money from the cash money. Whatever remains is what you start with to do the interest. Then get the interest, add on the amount to get the total amount at the end of the year or the period. Then divide by 12. Why? We are looking for monthly money. So this is the monthly money and it's more than 1,000. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. R are considering paying cash for the generator and dividing the payments in a ratio of 5:3, respectively. This means this is for the Mr. and this is for the Mrs. Okay, how much will Mrs. R contribute towards the payment? So Mrs. R will contribute 3, but out of what? Out of 8. How did I get the 8? I added their ratios, 5 plus 3. I get 8. Out of the 8, the lady will pay 3. So times, how much is it? You're saying contributing towards the payment? Yeah. So that is it. So the lady will contribute 5,062 rands, 18 cents. Okay. We continue and we look at 2.2. The generator uses petrol 95 or petrol 93 fuel. The table below shows the fuel prices in South Africa in January 2023. They're asking you calculate the difference in the inland and the coastal price of petrol 95. Please, these are just types. So the 95, we don't need to know what it means. We are not going to use it just because it's what? It's a type. Now, we come in and we shall say the difference here is going to be between inland and coastal. So simply meaning is going to be, the difference is going to be 21 rands 40 cents minus 20 rand 75 cents. And this gives me the answer as 65 cents. Okay. 95, petrol 95 decreased by 206 cents per liter in January 2023. Calculate the in-cost petrol in 2020 to December. So if it decreased in January, that means, look at that, December, January. In January, it went down by that much to become the current price that you're seeing there, which is 21 rands 40 cents. Okay, it reduced to become, so in other words, there's a certain price that was reduced by this much to give us 21. So if you're to look for this price, and then you're going to add this side, add up. Don't subtract again, but add, because you're looking for the previous before it reduced. Okay. So meaning we're going to add on the current amount of money that we have, and the answer becomes 23 rands 76 cents. Okay, then 2.2.3, calculate the total cost of fuel the generator would use in 31 day month if the generator uses 2.2 liters of petrol 93 per hour, and it is used twice a day, and the usage lasts for 2.5 hours each session. The price we're going to use is the cost rate. So the type of fuel is 93. So we need to find out how much petrol does she use, or how much petrol do they use. So meaning 2.2 for every hour. How many hours? 2.5 times 2 in one day times the number of days. So let's say this is the same as, so the person, they would use 341 liters, but each liter costs, let's go to the cost number 3. So you're saying they're using this money here, coastal, and the type of petrol, it's what? 93. So shall come here, multiply by the price that we saw there, which is 20 rand 45 cents. So they will end up using they will end up using 6,973. Okay, let's look at this table here. Let's look at the table there that we have. Yeah, it says currently here is a very serious water shortage in Nelson Mandela Bay, NMB district. Dams are running dry, and therefore the responsible water of usage is very important. Table 5 below shows the Nelson Mandela Bay regular tariffs for normal water availability, as well as tariffs that are applicable during a water shortage. Okay, that's how the table looks like, and we continue. They say write down the maximum number of kiloliters that a customer can use per day in step number 1. So step number 1 we have, so it's from 0 to, so the maximum here is going to be 0, the maximum is this one here. So we shall come here and say 0.3 kiloliters. Calculate the amount of VAT paid per kiloliter in step number 3 during the normal water availability. Let's look. This is the shortage and this is the normal. So step number 3 here we have. But remember, this price already includes VAT. So the question wants you to calculate the VAT, amount of VAT paid. So the moment you hear amount of VAT paid and the price already includes VAT, we shall start with this formula here. We shall always start with this times that money, which is 28 rands, 96 28 rands, 96 cents. So the amount of VAT is 3 rand 78 cents. 3 rand 78 cents. Okay, so we come down here and we say, Mr. R claims that if they use 0.73 kiloliters of water per day, while there is a water shortage, he pays less than 30 rand per day, including VAT. Take note of that. So let's go and look at the table here. We are looking at a scenario whereby they're going to use water of how much they are using, or he claims to use 7.3 kiloliters under shortage. But then when you look at under shortage, it has VAT exclusive. Yet his claim, he says he pays 30 per day, including VAT. So you know very well now when you look at this, we're going to know how much will he pay if he uses 0.73 kiloliters of water, and the price has to include VAT. He claims it's going to be less than 30 rands a day. Less than 30 rands a day. So what are we going to do? We shall say, including VAT, we're going to say, first and foremost, we need to find out weight. So I'm here looking at this 0.73. It's going to stop at step number 3. Why? It has not exceeded 8. So meaning it's going to use step 1 fully, it's going to use step number 2 fully. When you use step number 1 fully, what are we going to do? Fully, that means he has used 0.3. These are the kiloliters. Kiloliters times the amount of money per kiloliter. Here is going to use from 0.3 to 0, it's the what? 0.2. I have just subtracted 0.5 minus that. So here fully, it's what? So I'm here looking at this, so far used 0.3, sorry, 0.5. But he used 0.73. So what's remaining to make it? So if this is 5, remaining with 0.23. You see that? So we are going to multiply and we find out the money. So when we multiply, the money we get is, when we multiply the answers that we get, they're supposed to be 20 times 0.3. Okay, we'll do it this way. Yeah, I have 6.24. Then here you have 6,36. Then here we have times 0,23. We have 14, comma. So what do? We add all this number that we've got. 6,24 plus 6,3 plus 14, comma. So at the end, the amount that is going to pay is going to be 27 rand 23. But remember, it has to include VAT. What do? Multiply by 1,15. Multiply. The answer we've got, we are going to multiply it times 1,15. So yes, 31 rands, 31 cents. Remember, his claim was he's going to spend less than 30. So let's come back here. It says less than 30, but verify, is it valid? We shall say it's what? Invalid, because this money is not less than. It's invalid. The money is not less than 30%. I think we should remember how we do water tariffs. Okay, let's look at the next question. Give one possible reason why the family is likely to use more water during December. Remember, the reason why they would like December is a holiday month. So the family members might come back, and that means you have a bigger number of people using a lot of water that could bring up the bill. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 says, look at annexure E. This is annexure E. The retail trade sells at current price by type of retailer, and the values are in million. Okay, let's look at that and see. Question number 3. The state of the country's economy is mentioned on monthly basis by conducting various surveys. These results are used to establish how businesses are doing in the current state of the economy. Table 6 on annexure E gives a summary of retail trade sales for various retailers for the period of April 2022 to September 2022. So use the information in the table 6 given in annexure E to answer the questions that follow. Calculate the total sales for hardware, paint, and glass in August 2022. So we shall come here, August 2022, it's this one here, but we need to look for hardware, glass. So it's this number that is missing here. That number there, it's missing. What are we going to do? So as you look at it already, that's August, the number missing. You already have the total here. So you're going to get this number here minus all these other ones. We shall get this number minus all these other ones to get the missing number here. So we shall say we shall say mhm, 43,000. Sorry, this is 4. Remember, these are in million, but you don't need to make it million until you have the final answer. You only make the final answer million. No one will penalize you for not writing them as million for now. But you might be penalized for the final answer. So after you've done this, I believe you will end up having the answer as. So the missing value there, it's this much. As I told you, please you indicate that it's what? Million, because the values given to you are in million. They're asking which type of retailer showed the greatest increase in sales between April and May. April and May, which one showed the greatest increase? Which one between April and May? So we're looking at these two. This is approximately 5,000. Approximately 5,000. Here there was a decrease. There was a decrease. There was a decrease. There was an increment of around, this is approximately 49. 49 just, this one is 5,000, approximately 5,000, approximately. Okay, here there's an increase of approximately 400. And here there's a decrease. So the increases are here. Which one showed? So it's the general dealer. Eh? So we shall come here and we shall say general dealers. Calculate rounded off to the nearest million, sorry, nearest billion, the value of A. If the main sale for the month of June 2022 was 14,275.8 million. So what is given to you? It's the mean. What is given to you? It's the mean. So since mean is given and there's a missing value, what we're going to do, first and foremost, we shall get the mean, multiply it by the number of values that were added, minus the sum of the normal numbers. I'm going to just show you the normal numbers now. Okay, I mean by the values that are there, apart from the unknown. So this will give you the unknown. All right. So what we're going to do, we shall say, first and foremost, we shall add the unknown. Let's add the values that are there already. So we are going to add this plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that. That's the first step that you're going to do. 47,609 plus 8,298 plus 15,055 plus 4,219 plus 8,235 plus 9,331. So we have it as, when you add normal numbers, we have 92,701. So this is what I was saying. So we shall come here and say, let me shorten my formula here. We said mean times the number of items minus the normal numbers, the normal values. So our mean is 14 times, how many items do we see here? So we count them and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So times 7 minus the number that we've just got, the sum of these normal numbers. I think you believe or you remember you said it was 92,740. Do this in your calculator. This will be the value of A. So the value of A becomes by the set to the nearest billion. That means you have to turn this into million. You multiply by 10 to the power 6. So they are saying to the nearest billion. A billion should have 9 values. Okay, it's 7, yeah, it's fine. To the nearest billion. These are millions. So meaning we are supposed to divide. We are supposed to divide by 10 to the power 9 to make it a billion. A million is to the power 6. A billion is to the power 1. So we are here and we're saying it ends up giving you 7 billion. 1.3.4. Calculate the median. The moment you hear median, you think of arrangement of the sales for food, beverage, and the tobacco in specialized food stores. What you're going to do for me, you're going to arrange these values from smallest to biggest, and we shall see that the smallest, we are here. So the smallest is this one here. We shall say 1, followed by this, 2, followed by this, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So since there are 6 numbers, that means you're going to remain with 2 numbers in between, which is number 3 and number 4. These are the ones which are in the middle. But let me show you here. We are said we are arranging them in ascending order, smallest to biggest. So we have 2 numbers in between because median, this is when we cross. That goes with that. This. So we remain with 2. The moment you remain with 2 numbers, add them and divide by 2. So this one will give us the answer as the median becomes 8,574,50. So they're saying write down the sales. All right, they're saying write down the sales for general dealers for April. So we are looking at general dealers for April to the sales of pharmaceuticals and medical goods of August. Pharmaceutical goods as a unit ratio. Unit ratio, whenever you hear a unit ratio, to start with 1 is to a given number. So, general dealers, April. We shall come here. These are general dealers. This is April. You see that? Then August, where is August? But we are looking for pharmaceutical. August, we are coming to pharmaceutical and we are taking this. The ratio now. So we come down here and we say 42,000. 42,716 is 2. 7,986. 7,987. 87. So make this one of them has to become a 1. Either divide through by this to start with a 1. All right. Then the answer became, you divide that by, I'm dividing on both sides because I want to have a 1. So this side here, I will have a 1 is 2. One is to 0,187. Round off to 2 decimal places, which gives it to be 9. Which gives it to be 9. Okay. The percentage change difference in monthly sales divided by the original monthly sales. So we are going to say the difference in monthly sales divided by original monthly sales. But then what are we looking at? We are looking at this question here, which simply means we are looking at this question here and determine the percentage change of the total retail trade sales between April and September. April and September. Total retail sales. So we're going to say total retail sales. Remember, they are all retail sales. Okay? So we have this April and September. So the difference is going to be September money minus the April money, but we are looking at the totals divided by, then multiplied by 100. That's what we are looking at. So here the answer becomes, yeah, at this moment you can pick a calculator, you put the number there. We're saying minus 98502 equals I'm going to say divided by so that's how we use a calculator there, multiply by the answer becomes 2.65. Don't forget it's a what? It's a percentage. And the other question asks us, calculate the probability as a decimal fraction of randomly selecting a retail trade, a trade less than 4,400. You understand what we're going to, so we're going to look for retail that are less than this. So remember, all these are all retail, all these are retail what? Retails. But you're going to look for the one which is less than 4,400 all over. So we are going to look for them and we see the one on top, hey, that one's too big. It does not qualify. Anyway, let's start and we look for which one is less than 4,400. When you come down, you see that because these ones are all high, 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 high. Yeah, here we have because even these ones here, 7,000, they are above. So the business is here. So how many are they? We have less than. So we have 1, 2, 3. This is above 4. And what? 5. So 5, these are the ones that we are looking for. You understand? So 5 out of what? You count all these values that you have here. Count all these, excluding the totals. So here on top we have 6 values by 7, meaning all the values are 42. So how are we going to try the probability? We found out that there are only 5 values out of 42, but they want it as a decimal. So put this in your calculator. 5 divided by 42. Get as a decimal. They say round off to 3. Round off your answer to 3 decimal places, meaning 3 numbers after the comma, which is 0,119. That is your answer. Let's look at question number 3.2. South Africans are doing more and more of their shopping online. A survey was done where people had to indicate if they were satisfied with their online shopping experience. Given below are the results of the survey. So here we have the gender, which is what? These ones are female. Sorry, a female and male. So the male are 21 and the female. Okay. So, and this one indicates the age. This, the province and the race. Anyway, let's look at that and we see. I will use the diagram this other side to make my life easy. Okay, they're telling us which age group is least satisfied with their online shopping experience. Age group. So the age group, you come here. Age group. Look at that. We have the age group here. So which one is the same? Least, meaning least. It's between least, so the smallest. So it's 50 years and above. 50 plus age group. Ne? Then, least satisfied, let's see, the results of the survey regarding the satisfaction with online shopping. Okay, write down the percentage of satisfied female shoppers as a simplified common fraction. So they're here. As a simplified common fraction, females. So it's 78,5. So what do you do? 78,5%. This is the same as 78,5 over 100. Please don't take a lot of time. Just pick your calculator. Do that for me. All right? They want it as a common fraction. So that is it. 157 over 200. So it's 1. That's a common fraction that they want you to do. Simplify it. There's nothing much. A calculator simplifies it. Okay. We come to question saying, calculate the interquartile range for the provincial satisfaction. So first and foremost, we need to find out, is the data arranged? Here we are. Is this the data arranged? No, because 1 is here, we have a 3, so meaning. So 1 takes number 1, 3, they're not negative, you can't have negatives. Okay? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3. So now I'm trying to arrange this. We have the first one, this one, second, third. We have the fourth is this one here. Fourth, we have the fifth. Then fifth, we have sixth. Then 7, 8, and 9. 9. So we're going to arrange them like that. So we shall start with so our values, we are going to arrange them and we shall find out the answer there. We are saying we shall start with 1, then followed by 3. We have 3, 5. Then we have a 4. We have a 4, 2. We have a 6, 5. Then we have 20, 2, 3. We have 36. Now, Q1. So no, you start with Q2 because it's a mother. So how many are they? We are having 9. So meaning 1 is going to remain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our Q2. So we look at one side and we look at this other side. Now, since we are going to remain with 2 numbers on the left-hand side, giving us our Q1, which means we are going to add them 3 plus 3, 5. We divide by 2, we get our Q1. Then also here we are remaining with these 2 numbers, giving us Q3, which becomes Q3, 20 plus 2, 20 plus 23. 20 plus 23 divided by 2. So here we have the answer as 3, 2, 2, 5. And our Q3 is 21, 5. So now we have to find out the QR, which is 21, that we've got as Q3, minus 3, 2, 2, 5. The final answer becoming 18, 2, 8. Don't forget these are what? Percentages. These are percentages. That marks the end of question number 3. Let's look at question number 4. Mrs. Holos is on the committee that is in charge of planning the matric farewell. The committee is considering two different venues for the fairway. The cost of these two venues is given in the graph below. Venue 1 charges a fixed rental fee of 8,000 and an additional fee of 80 Rand per person, whereas venue 2 charges a rate of 180 per person. So, what do? We look at the questions that they want us to do. Name the graph that represents venue 2 only. Write the letter A or B in your answer. Remember venue 2. Venue 2, it starts straight away, charging a person at 108. That means without a person, nothing works. So it's this dotted one. Graph B. Graph, we have graph B. Then, provide an equation for calculating the cost of venue 1. Equation. So simply meaning the equation is going to be, first and foremost, someone pays 80,000 plus 80 rands per person. So we shall say times what? The number of people. Explain what is meant by, explain what's meant by the point labeled X on the graph. So the point labeled X on the graph, you find out it's where they cross each other. And this point is called the break-even point. What happens at the break-even point? What happens at the break-even point? They're saying explain. This is when, explain what happens. So the cost of both what? Venues is equal. The cost for both venues is equal. Then we have the committee eventually opted to go with venue 2. Verify showing all calculations that with 180 guests attending, they would have paid 10,000 less had they chosen to go with venue 1. That means you're going to calculate using, you can use the formula here already and the formulas that we have there. Okay, so venue 1, I'll write it as V1, it will become 8,000 plus 80 times what? 80,000 plus 80 times what? So this is approximately 94,400. This is venue 1. What about venue 2? Remember, venue 2, someone starts paying immediately. So it's 180 people times 180. So 180. So this is 34,000. 32,400. 32,400. So what's going to happen? You subtract because you're looking for the difference. They would have paid less. So we are going to look for the difference, which is 94,400 minus 32,400. And the difference is 62,000. 62,000. Wait. Oh man, this is 80,000. It's 8,000, not 8. Sorry for that. Even here, the formula is supposed to be 8,000. I was wondering, how can you pay that difference? That's too much. Weird. Okay? This is supposed to be 8,000 in that your answer comes out next. 8,000. You the difference of 62,000. That would be weird. Okay? Let's get and you see 8,000 plus 80 times 1, 8. Yeah. So we have 22,400. Yeah, this one now can be, yeah, it's a 10,000 now. So we are saying 10,000. And the committee goes with the venue number to verify showing all calculations that the 180 attending. They would have paid 10,000 less had they, yes. So this is how it works out. Venue 1, that's what you're calling view 1. And venue 2. Okay. We continue and we go on. We are looking at this and we are saying the graph given below shows the relationship between the height and the weight of a high school cricket team. Relationship between the weight and height. B and C, those are the points, the BMI, it's there. What does BMI stand for? Everyone knows this as body mass index. Please never leave such questions unanswered. What do you call a point that lies a distance away from all the other points in the data set as seen with point C above? This could be what we call an outlier. It's extreme together. It's away from the other. Then name the type of graph above. Please, this type of graph with dots like this, it's called a scatter plot. It's called a scatter. It's a scatter plot written like this. A scatter plot. Write down the weight of the team members. That is 120 centimeters tall. Write down the weight of the team member. That is 120 centimeters tall. 120 is here. And the dot is in between here. So the weight could be between 40, let me see, 40 and 60, could be 50. Because it's in between really. 120 height, and they're asking for the weight. So that is it. We are saying it's what? 50. Okay. Comment on the weight status of a person labeled B. Comment on the weight status. Now you cannot do, so first and foremost, a person B, weight status. We are going to use this to find the weight status. And for you to use this, you need to know the BMI. We know nothing about the BMI. So person B is right here. So the weight is 60 kg. Thank you. What about the height? So the height is in between 140 and 160. And each line, say, let's count, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means each line is representing, each line represents 4. This is 104, 108, 144. How many lines do we see with B? B is 1, 2. Yeah. So B is at 140. It's 48. 60. 60 minus 140 divided by 5, which is 4. So yeah, that is it. We are at 4. Okay. Okay, so the height is in centimeters. It has to be in meters. We divide by 100. Then becomes 1,4. I'm looking for the BMI first. So the height, the weight is there, 60 kg. So for us to get the BMI or the weight status of this person, we're going to use this formula here. So we shall say 60 divided by 1,4 squared. So when you come to your calculator here, 60 divided by 1,48 squared. Give the answer there. 27,39. So it's 27,39 kg per meter square. That's the BMI. So 27 lies in between this. And the person now is going to become overweight. The person is overweight because the BMI that we've just got lies in between that. What is the probability of selecting a person below 120 kg who is shorter than 1.5 meter? So what we do there, it's going to be 120 kg. This one is 0 because now is less than below 120, okay? And the shorter than 1.5, shorter than 1.5. So we have here, the first person is Z. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's beyond. So there are 5 out of how many people when we count these dots? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the probability there becomes 5 out of 12. They never said whether decimal or what, you can leave it like that. Give your answers a percentage. So we multiply by 100. Percentage to 1 decimal. So you come to your calculator there. 5 divided by 12 times 100. So 41,666, but 1 decimal place becomes 41,7%. This brings us to the end of question number 4. Let's look at question number 5. Mrs. X, 58-year-old, earns a gross salary of 46,523 Rand 16 cents per month. She contributes 7.5% of her gross salary towards her pension fund and also pays an amount of 1,600 per month to a charity organization. Both of these contributions are non-taxable. Below shows the rates of tax individual in South Africa are able to pay. Okay, there we go. Write out the full name of the organization that is responsible for collecting tax in South Africa. The full name. So, you know very well it's called, but they don't want this. They want it in full, which is the South African Revenue Services. Okay. Explain what the tax threshold amount refers to. Is the tax determinant. The tax determinant. Why do I call it tax? It determines whether one is going to pay tax or not. That's a threshold. It's tax determinant. It's the amount one has to earn in a year to start paying tax. In other words, it's the minimum amount that an individual must earn in order to pay tax. It determines whether one is going to pay tax or not. So calculate Mrs. Annual taxable income. Remember, taxable income, we are going to say gross minus pension. Now this one pays donation. So we shall also subtract the donation. They're saying annual taxable income. So let's deal with that and we see, first and foremost, shall come back to the persons. Allow me to do it here. So meaning we're going to get, this is per month, very good. So first and foremost, look for pension. The pension will be times this is only the pension. Okay. Remember we said we are going to look for, so now if this is pension, put it aside. Remember, pension is only charged on basic salary. Had she got overtime, we would not charge that from the. We're going to say that's the pension that we have. So the taxable income should equal to 46,000. This money that she has here, minus the pension that we've just got, minus the contribution, the donation. Since they said it's annual, we multiply everything by 12. Multiply everything by 12. When you multiply everything by 12, I believe you end up having you end up having 497,000. $497,207 4 cents. Okay, so that is it. So they're saying Mrs. Nichols earns an annual taxable income. This is a friend who earns it. This is already what? It's already taxable. So we don't need to look for the taxable. And she claims that she pays more than 1/4 of her annual taxable income towards the tax each year. Verify showing your calculations. First and foremost, you have to find out where does it fall in our bracket that we have up here. That's 505. Where does it fall? 500. Where does this money fall? You come here, it's 502. So 502, I believe it's in between this bracket here. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then you're going to deal with this number, this formula this side. The formula that side, which says so we shall say, I'm writing that formula that I wrote in, I put in brackets. So the formula there, the one I've put in the bracket says that you shall start with 11,000, sorry, 115,762 plus 36% of what? Of the money that she earns that has gone beyond 488,700. That's the number one part. Then you can put this in your calculator. Put that in your calculator. You end up having this much. 120,616 rands, 82 cents. Now, this is when you subtract the rebate, and if they have medical tax credits, but then they have not talked about medical tax, so we don't need them. I'm only going to subtract the rebate. And the rebate here, in this case, it's how much? The rebate, we shall come back to the table here. The person is 58 years of age. Oh, here they never told us. Anyway, so we take the primary one only. So which is this much? We shall come and subtract the rebate, which is 16,425. So at this moment, remember the claim. She says she claims that she pays more than 1/4 of her annual taxable income towards the tax each year. So we need to find out how much is that quarter of her tax. So it's a quarter of her this is the annual tax paid. So versus a quarter of her money. So which becomes a quarter of her money is this much. So we are asking ourselves, is the statement valid? No. So the statement is invalid, or you can say it's incorrect. Incorrect. All right, let's continue to question number 5.2. The person there has a research required to relocate in New Zealand. She requires a skilled migrant visa that costs her the New Zealand dollar worth 4,880. And her husband, who would like to start his own business, needs an entrepreneur resident visa, which costs 6,860. An entrepreneur is required to invest a capital of at least 500 New Zealand dollars in order to qualify for his visa. Okay. Determine the exchange rate, New Zealand dollar in terms of South African rand on the 23rd. So what we're going to do in terms of South Africa, so simply meaning we need to divide through. So we need to make this one. So to make this one, we need to divide through by the same number on both sides. So giving us 1 New Zealand dollar equals to 1 divided by 0.088205, giving us the answer as definitely will be rands, 11 rands. 337 cents. Calculate the total costs of the visa to the nearest 100 rand that the person and her husband must pay should they decide to relocate. We are looking at the total cost of the visas. So first and foremost, the relocation, so we are going to add this plus this. These are the amounts for visas. So we add that first. And we are saying so they want that in rands. So 1 New Zealand, 1 rand. Okay. We are going to divide this by nearest 100 rands. So meaning they require approximately 33 rands. 100. The person's brother in America, and the person's brother stays in America and has offered to lend a capital amount to him at an interest rate of 8.75% compounded annually over a period of 2 years. Calculate how much or how many New Zealand dollars will Maseko have to repay to his brother after 2 years. They say the brothers offered to lend the capital amount. The capital amount, which is 500, maybe the capital amount of this much. You see? So let's see how much you calculate in New Zealand dollars. Okay, so we don't need to change it. Let's do it. 2 years. What I need first to know, you take 100 plus over 100, because I'm going to deal with compound interest. So here I end up having this much. Remember, they're saying compounded annually, so it's fine. So we shall take that money of ours. So we shall get our percentage times the money, the capital money. Because it's 2 years, I'll put this to the power 2. To the power 2 times. So they said round off. Do they say round off? No. So we have 590, 1,328,13. These are New Zealand dollars. And this brings us to the end of this question.